Why do you do it?
Because I wanted to.
What?
I wanted to! And I liked it! I did watch Batman vs. Superman, and I loved it! Happy 5th year anniversary to Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. This film is a very polarizing film. You're either gonna love it or hate it or think it's okay. And to say the least, Batman and Superman are my two favorite superheroes. So to see them in live action for the first time was something. You know, you had the world's finest crossover on Superman the Animated Series, but you never really saw them face to face in film. You had slight references to Gotham and Metropolis in the Batman Superman films, but you never had them together. And I was so excited for this film. I got the soundtrack by Junkie XL. I got Dr. Pepper cans with the characters, and it was also going to be our introduction to Wonder Woman on film. Gal Gadot, I would still say, has the best introduction of any superhero with Is She With You by Hans Zimmer. I love that. And Batman v Superman is one of those films that I actually really enjoyed. As a matter of fact, I got a lot of flack for liking both BVS and Captain America Civil War. I liked all the films in 2016. You had X-Men Apocalypse, Doctor Strange, and Deadpool. And with the exception of Deadpool, nobody really talks about those other films as much as BVS. So what does that say about the film? This polarizing film that people either adore or just straight up despise is still talked about after 5 years. Whether you love or hate the film, that is quite a testament in itself for any film, and I believe that BVS is going to get a cult following. Matter of fact, I think it's one of the most underappreciated and underrated films out of the DCEU. I really do. But what I love is Zack Snyder's deconstruction of the superhero genre. You know, I first saw Watchmen and seeing Dan Dreiberg and Night Owl, I was like thinking, Dan Dreiberg reminds me of Clark Kent, Night Owl reminds me of Batman. What would it be like if Snyder did a Batman-Superman film? And then here we are. And this film has much more resonance after seeing Zack Snyder's Justice League. You know, for a while, this film was damaged, seeing where it went from Man of Steel BVS to the tone change and kind of lightheartedness of the theatrical Justice League. Now that we have the original version restored of Justice League, this film is so much better for it. If BVS is a deconstruction of superhero films, Justice League is the reconstruction of it. What I love here is that Snyder shows us what would it be like if a Superman existed in our world. I know a lot of people miss the 20th century Superman, truth, justice, the American way. Christopher Reeve is forever iconic as the best Superman. Henry Cavill, though, they present us a 21st century Superman. Look at how he treat people who are different. Look how he treat immigrants, people of different religions. Is it that hard to imagine that we would treat a Superman this way? That we would see a guy with godlike abilities on this earth and say, get rid of him? And Snyder shows us a 21st century Superman. I think subconsciously that's what people have a problem with this movie. Could it have just been the ideologies of Batman and Superman? Sure. Does Doomsday look like a Lord of the Rings orc? Absolutely. Lex, he is a bit of a crackpot scientist meets Willy Wonka and Edward Nygma, but I like him because he reminds me of that 1950s mad scientist Lex. You also have other additions like Anatoly Knyzhov with KG Beast. And the real MVP is Ben Affleck's Batman. He is straight up from Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. I absolutely love this broken person. You know, the death of Robin, what happened in the attack on Metropolis, helped fuel his rage towards Superman. There's that quote with Alfred saying that, like, the feeling of powerlessness makes good men turn cruel. And we see those themes in this movie, but what I love about this movie is that both Wonder Woman and Batman are a bit redeemed, or have the journey of redemption begin for them after meeting Superman. Batman is a very broken individual. People in Gotham fear him, and in the Ultimate Edition is where to go in this film. Clark Kent is more that investigative journalist. Batman is somewhat of a villain in this movie. We get to see the people of Gotham terrified of this Batman. And Superman, Clark Kent, feels like he has to go against this guy because of what he's doing to this community. And that's something that's very much Superman. You can see more of Lex's plot, the machinations of all his manipulation. And then Wonder Woman, in some capacity, turned her back away from humanity. She doesn't believe in mankind. There's that quote of, like, men are still good. Reflecting upon this movie, another part I feel like is misunderstood is the Martha scene. Yeah, both their mothers are named Martha, which I knew but never put two and two together when I first saw it. Anyway, his mother's name is Martha. But what I love about that moment, he doesn't stop fighting because he says his mother's name. Bruce Wayne stops attacking Superman. He doesn't kill him because in that moment, it's not only that he figures out that Superman has a mother. He's like a person. He's not just some evil alien. It's not that. Batman realizes that he basically, in that moment, became Joe Chill, the man who murdered his parents. He became a stone cold killer. Whether it's through anger, rage, he starts to break the line of that traditional Batman. He starts to betray his ideologies. And in that moment, he realized how far he went off the rails in that moment. And I love it because Alfred's even concerned for him. So falls the house of Wayne. Why? You're going to go to war with this person? And he's just like, that son of a bitch started the war. You get to see Alfred's concern for the soul of Bruce Wayne throughout this movie. And in that moment, after that fight, he realizes how far he has gone from who he started out as a hero. After 20 years in Gotham, how many good guys are left? How many stayed that way, And that's one thing I absolutely love about that scene in this film. And it kind of makes me wonder if they didn't try to put too much, the ideologies alone could have made this an even greater film, but I don't think it deserves the hate it gets. BVS is one of those films that it may not be like the other films, like Marvel or DC. It may not even be the best of both of those, but I think it will be remembered for being the most different and taking a risk and doing something completely different from the other films, some of which are very cookie cutter on both sides. This film had a point of view. This film had a story. This film had something to say about our society right now. And I think because of that, this film is getting a bit more love. I think it will continue to get more love. It's getting a cult following. In many ways, the theatrical compared to the director's cut kind of reminds me of what happened not only with Watchmen, but also Blade Runner, the original version. And I feel like this is going to be one of those films that's going to get better with age, become more relevant. And, it may not be as popular per se as other films, but I think it would be remembered for not only what it is, but how different it is compared to other films. Anyway, those are my brief thoughts in retrospective on Batman v Superman. Feel free, let me know in the comments below. Did you like this film? Did you hate it? You just despise this film, or do you love it? Let me know down in the comments below. I enjoyed this film, and I cannot wait to see Zack Snyder's Justice League again. After 5 years, we finally have this trilogy completed, and I have to say, it's crazy that we're still talking about this film 5 years later. A polarizing film, and in many ways, throughout the history of cinema, polarizing films have been up for debate and discussion for many decades, so that says something, I guess. Be sure to follow me on the Stardust app at Fred Film Fanatic and Instagram at Fred Film Fanatic. You can also subscribe for more videos and check out these other videos for more content. Till next time, everyone.